What's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of Between the Chalk podcast, a part of the Primetime Sports Betting Network. Today is Monday, April 25th. I'm Trent Pruitt, aka Trent Bets. I'm joined by my co-host, a man who can't seem to lose golf bets. Who cannot seem to lose golf bets, but can't win baseball bets. Noah Weinberg. Noah, what's up, brother?
What's up? Yes, it's true. I am the hottest better when it comes to betting golf. This is now not 3 weekends in a row, but 2 of the last 3 weekends. I've bet the winner before the tournament started.
Insane.
And final day, Sunday finishes, and I'm in the money. So I spend a lot of time. We're in the middle of the season for golf. So I've had a number of weekends to prepare. We're in our third, fourth weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll be there, guys. Just 2 out of 3 coming.
So you were on that tournament. It was the one in Louisiana where they were playing as like duos.
Yes.
That was interesting.
I bet Cantley and Shoffley to win. They were big in the Ryder Cup last year.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a duo in the President's Cup this year. So they're just an awesome pairing.
That's dope. Yeah, I watched a little bit of the broadcast this morning, not to get too sidetracked here, but yeah. I did see they broke the course record for a duo on day one.
Yes.
They had the best record through, or they broke the record through 3 rounds.
Every single day they broke the record, the course record. And they even finished with the bogey, and they still broke the course record.
That's insane.
So I bet Scheffler to win the Masters, and I bet Varner to win the Heritage, which he was 1 putt away from making the playoff hole.
Yeah.
We're hoping the great knowledge and great betting comes into baseball sooner or later. And I'm thinking it's today. But
why don't you send some of that juju our way on the baseball diamond, Noah?
Yeah, we're gonna get to my guaranteed wins, but
there we go.
Let's start with a good show. What do we have first?
Absolutely.
We have Miggy hitting his 3,000th hit officially.
Yeah, so congrats to Miggy. Well, let's run down the lineup here real quick, then we'll touch on Miggy. So we'll go Miggy, your Yankees bet. We're going to do a little power rankings of third place teams. We'll recap the weekend action, then we'll preview upcoming week, and we'll finish up with our best bets for Monday.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah, Miggy, an absolute beatdown of a game. Gets the hit out of the way. I think it was the bottom of the first right away.
Yeah.
Gets it done. Comes the 33rd player in Major League history. And I think – I don't know. I was going to try and find some stat that I thought I heard over the weekend, but I won't even try and come up with something.
What I will tell you is he might be the first to get 4,000.
Besides Pete Rose?
Well, whatever. He doesn't –
He's
not part of the game anymore. He's not in good standing. So
yeah,
it's going to be Miggy.
Do you actually think that's possible?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. I was doing the math. I was like, that'd be at least another 6-7 seasons.
Miggy, I think it's possible that he has 6-7 seasons left in him. Nelson Cruz hasn't aged. But I also think that we're not going to see Miggy producing at the high rate in order to get that 4,000 hits.
For sure.
He would need like 15 years at a pace that he would be trending.
Mm.
You know?
Well,
but you know what? Big congrats regardless. Huge. The ceremony, like they had his family come down on the field right after he ran over there. It was sweet. Love when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Little ceremony mid-game.
Exactly. Love it. Love a distraction.
Let's keep it rolling here. Congrats to Miggy. You want to go power rankings, or you want to talk your Yankees bet?
Well, let's talk the Yankees bet, because I think we should just get that out of the way, and then we'll go into power rankings.
Cool.
I just wanted to tell everybody in the world that I may have done something stupid, but after seeing the start to the Yankee season, and then also I made the bet prior to seeing the Yankees fans do that horrible, terrible thing.
Oh man!
But I made a friendly wager with one of my friends that I believe that the Yankees will finish 4th or worse in the East.
Wow. 4th or worst. Okay, so 4th?
4th or 5th. I mean, and I made that statement saying that I don't see it out of the realm of possibility that the Orioles get hot.
Okay.
We'll talk about the Orioles later, but they did a number to the Angels. Take it as you will, but I was feeling myself. I saw Cantlay and Shoffley breaking the course record, and I was like, shoot, I'm hot right now. Let's just make a bet.
Yeah, you're firing. That is an interesting bet.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I'm interested to see how it progresses over the season. But yeah, that's my Yankees down bad bet.
So top four teams.
So yeah,
obviously going to be those top four teams battling for the East, and the Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox, and the Yankees. So, I mean, certainly not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's totally possible, and completely plausible.
Well, that's a fun one to follow along with all season. I hope it happens after seeing those scumbag Yankee fans.
Absolutely.
Over the weekend.
So yeah.
Let's do this power rankings. This should be kind of fun to touch on here.
Absolutely. This was a fun little content idea that we had.
Yeah. How do you want to do it? You want to just run through your six, I run through mine, or you want to go first, second, second?
Well, so what I first want to do is I want to discuss what we're doing. We're going to be giving you guys a power ranking of third place teams. I may have a slightly ulterior motive behind this list.
I know you do.
You guys can figure that out in a second. So we have here's the list of the third place teams, and I'll give you their records. Okay. So we have Tampa Bay at 9-7. We have the White Sox at 6-9.
Nice.
Wink, wink. We have Oakland at 9-8. We have Atlanta at 7-10. We have Pittsburgh at 8-8. And we have Colorado at 10-5. So just off the bat, can we talk about any surprises out of third place teams? Who are we surprised to see out of this lot?
I am surprised for overachieving. I'm very surprised to see Oakland at third place.
That's the first team I wanted to talk about. Oakland A's, right?
Sure.
No, wrong. The White Sox are in third place in that Central Division.
Yes, it's been a tough start, plagued with injuries.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure.
So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that we harped and talked about the fact that not only are the Guardians above them, but the Twins are in first place in the Central, just as everybody predicted. So
yeah.
I'll start. I don't think we have too much discrepancy in our list. I think it's at the top that we see the discrepancies. But why don't we give our first two, and then it kind of falls in line after that. So maybe I'm a homer. Maybe I'm just looking at the NL West and seeing that they're stacked and thinking that the Colorado Rockies might have actually figured something out. Connor Joe might actually be that guy. Yeah. But I have them at the top of my power ranking, number one. They're figuring it out early in the season, and they haven't been doing it against like the worst talent. They've taken some against Philadelphia. They've taken some against the Dodgers. I think this season is going to be interesting for the Rockies, and they're on a good pace. What about you?
Yeah, how about this guy, Chad Cool?
Exactly.
Cool cucumber. Guy's on fire.
Absolutely. And you have Austin Gomer, whatever his name is. It is the Rockies. You like to shit on the Rockies. You like to just make jokes, but they're playing good baseball, and they're playing good baseball against good teams.
Right.
So I have them as my first overall of third place teams.
Okay. Now I have the Rockies second, and then first I have the Tampa Bay Rays.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I think the Rays, they're going to end up being one of the top teams in the division. They may win that division outright. I know that might be a hot take, but I like McClanahan there, kind of leading the rotation. The bullpen's an absolute wagon. They basically threw a no-hitter against the Red Sox the other day.
Yep.
And obviously, like, Wander Franco.
Yeah.
Randy.
Randy,
Those are some
Wander,
guys,
just
so
absolute.
they do. Man, yeah, I think they're the best third place team just because it's also the division's pretty stacked. So like if they weren't in the East, they probably wouldn't be in third place.
Yeah, I have them as my second power ranking, the second team in the power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
I see them as a 1B, truthfully. I
Yeah,
struggled a little bit with 1A, 1B, Colorado, Tampa Bay, but I'm gonna have to go with the NL West right now. I see that division as just being a little bit better than the AL East.
that's fair.
Um,
Moving on, I
so
think we both have Atlanta
yeah,
number 3.
yes. I think we both agree that that team could easily be number 1, and they shouldn't probably be in third place in that division. But Ronald Acuna hasn't started playing, and that
Mm-hmm.
pitching isn't doing what they should be doing.
It's kind of like just a good old fashioned World Series hangover.
Absolutely.
They'll be all right. They'll figure it out. They got one of the best arm barns in the game.
Yeah.
So those guys will all figure it out on the back end.
And then following Atlanta, we have a shocker. We have the Rats, the Pirates.
Yeah, we both have the Buccos coming off a strong weekend against the Chicago Cubs.
I mean, minus that one game, their bullpen's not looking too bad. And they're seeming to be able to put together some runs and enough to win a couple ball games here and there. 8-8 to start the season is not that bad. It's very respectable.
And it looks like they have the second worst run differential in the league, but maybe that's skewed just due to one single game.
I would agree with you. But we can talk about that game when we break down the weekend. Following the Pirates, we have your Chicago White Sox. It's unfortunate to put them at the 4th spot, but they just seem to be getting hurt left and right. Liam Hendricks, your bullpen is shaky, not looking great to start the season.
Right. So let me see here. Let me pull up that tweet that you sent me earlier just to go over some of these injuries that we have. So Eloy Jimenez messed up his hamstring Saturday. We also have Garrett Crochet's out from our bullpen. Lance Lynn's banged up until June with a knee issue. Yohan Moncada is going to be out until at least, I think, May 1st, I saw. Joe Kelly in our bullpen out. So it's just it's like Murphy's Law. Like whatever can go wrong will go wrong. It's just classic being a White Sox fan. That's why I have him as 5th in my power rankings as well, just because the team that we're putting out there right now is not the team that is going to be on the field in October when we're in the World Series. So
yeah, I almost missed that.
Yeah, you almost let that one slip by.
Yeah, did you say the White Sox were going to be in the World Series?
Yeah, once everyone's healthy and back, and we'll be all right.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we got to stop this. We got to stop the slide here because 7 straight losses is not good. We need someone to step up and get it done.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then finally on your Liam Hendricks note, I saw some stuff that maybe he's tipping his pitches. So
we'll see.
Hopefully he can get that figured out.
And then rounding out the list, we have the boys in green.
Yes. 60 wins away. 60 wins away from Noah dyeing his hair green. They're 9-8. Who would have saw this coming?
I mean, it's 9-8. They're 3rd place in that AL West division, but I think that they're going to be taking a dramatic slide soon. And I won't be surprised if they don't win 68 games.
Yeah, I am.
Not for any reason other than I don't want them winning 69.
I'm surprised that we were pretty on par there.
Yeah, I mean, I really just wanted to make sure we were able to rank the White Sox appropriately because as they are currently playing, they're
bad.
They're bad. They're not who we expected them to be. And Tim Anderson, who is supposed to be one of the guys, is having a really bad, shaky start to the season. And I don't know if you saw the clip, but Tim Anderson, I think grounded out or something like that at the end to end an inning. And one of the fans said, "Tim Anderson, you suck," and he like flipped him off in the middle of a game.
Oh, really?
It was classic. I love this new age of players interacting with fans like that.
Yeah. Well, just a side note here on that before we get into fans interacting with players.
Yes.
Tim Anderson quietly hitting 313 to start the year. It's just his defense needs to figure it out. So
yeah, defense wins games, as we've learned.
That's true. Yeah, but speaking of fans interacting with players, there was quite a scene on Saturday in the Bronx. Do you want to kind of explain this backstory? I just kind of caught a couple highlights of it.
Yeah, I mean, I truly just caught a couple highlights of it, but what it seems to be is Yankees fans being stereotypical Yankees fans. It was the end of Sunday's game, right?
Saturday's game.
Mm-hmm. And the Yankees walked off the game.
Yeah, and Gleyber Torres hit a double in the right center gap.
Right. And as a result, at the end of the game, the Yankees fans started throwing trash at the right fielder of the Cleveland Guardians. So much, and it got to a point where they just were chucking so much trash that the Guardians players started running out and trying to get the fans to stop. And after the Yankees were celebrating, while the Yankees were celebrating, they had to go out there and try to get their fans to stop throwing trash as well. So honestly, if you're a Yankees fan and you defend any of these acts in any way, you deserve to have your pinstripes taken from you. The Yankees should be barred from having any fans within 15 rows of a fence of that.
I like that rule a lot. I'd like to implement that rule.
So, I mean, and truthfully, I mean, this might be a little extra, but you as a fan should have to sign some sort of card that says, I am a fan of X team. And then you should have to scan that to go into a ball game. So Yankees fans should, because of this, there should be extra repercussions. So if you're a Yankees fan, you can't sit within 15 rows of the front of a ball field. So
that's certainly an interesting take there. Now I do have we don't really know what was said, what happened, because the bat prior to Gleyber walking that game off, I saw I think it was Miles Straw, right? Seeing the Guardians outfield. He was climbing the left field fence, about to throw hands with a Yankees fan. So I think there's a lot more to the story. Obviously, fans stop being scumbag Yankee fans and throwing shit at players. That's not cool. Now, is there a line where you just go, hey, be a professional and don't climb the wall and try and fight the fans, or no?
I think so. There comes a time where you're not supposed to fight the fans. You got to think back to Jackie Robinson days where there was probably much worse said.
Sure. Absolutely.
And you also have to think that we're in a time where a lot more people are a lot more sensitive about things that are said to them. So
yeah,
just on both sides of the situation. And then you also have finally people are able to go out into public without masks and reassimilate, and they've been living behind the keyboard for a year or two.
True.
And they get back into public and they don't know how to act. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it's
maybe some reasoning.
Yeah. But I mean, if we can push that aside and we can get back to baseball. The Yankees did actually end up sweeping the Guardians, unfortunately.
That's great for AL Central fans that aren't the Guardians fans.
But, I mean, they're still in second place, so what can you say? The Yankees outscored the Guardians 19-7 in that series. And Garrett Cole back in a huge way. 9 Ks, no earned in 6 2/3. You have Nestor Cortez pitching really well. Jameson Tyone looked really good. And then just minus the Yankees fans being garbage themselves, they had a good weekend. Their hitting seemed to pick it up. Joey Gallo's still garbage, but
Yeah,
to be expected. Aaron Judge is coming back. Glaber's getting a hit or two every now and then. So, I mean, other than that, the Cleveland didn't have that great of a weekend. I look for them to be able to come back this week. You know, they're not going to lose 4 straight. So.
Ooh, interesting. Probably not. Yeah, they got Bieber going today. So.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add about that series?
Not really. I'm just glad. I hope that Garrett Cole made that he doubled down on his laptops for for underprivileged kids if he lasts 2 innings.
Yeah, let's hope.
No, I'm all good there. Yeah, Yankees are back at the top of the division, 10-6. Come a long way from that 5-5 start when everyone was writing them off.
Yeah. We can move on.
Yep.
San Francisco versus Washington. The Giants 3-0 sweep, outscored Washington 24-6. And we even got a little taste of another unwritten rule fight because when Washington got mad that the Giants were trying to score in the 9th inning when they were up 7-1, the Nats made the last out at home plate at the top of the 9th. And as they were walking off, they were kind of jawing at the Giants, like, you guys really trying to score up 6. And I mean, we can get in conversation about this, but I think we should save the unwritten rule debate for another show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, to get back to baseball, you see the Giants doing what they're doing, and then you look at the pitchers. Jake Junis was one of the pitchers who did well this weekend.
Yeah.
Jock Peterson homered twice on Sunday. You know, it's not just their main guys who are doing it. It's Jake Junis, it's Jock Peterson, it's the role players who are putting it together. And,
right.
You know, like, as a Dodgers fan, it makes me sick to continuously talk this well about the Giants, but the Giants are a powerhouse. They are the real deal, and the NL West is absolutely in a much better place because they're this good.
Yeah, what's going on over there with the pitching staff with San Fran? Because I remember Jake Junis was with the Royals previously, and he was just like, he was always good for a 5+ ERA year in and year out. Like,
maybe it's a Gabe Kapler thing. Gabe Kapler brought his team in, and Gabe Kapler, he just needed to get out of Philadelphia. Maybe it's a Philadelphia sports town thing.
Certainly not the city of brotherly love over there.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that very well could be it. Yeah, this Giants team, like, there's not too many like huge names, obviously. Like, they got their core guys, Belt, Crawford, etc., Webb. But yeah, I mean, it's like the role guys, like you were saying, are really stepping up, and very interesting to see. Very interesting to see.
So yeah, why don't we move on to the series of the weekend? In my humble opinion, Minnesota swept the White Sox 3-0 in the series, outscoring the White Sox 17-7. I'll just let you take this one over.
Yeah, sure. I know I pretty much touched on a lot of stuff. Like, the injuries are obviously a huge factor in what's going on with the White Sox right now. The bullpen is also not great. They blew that late game lead in the 8th inning in the series opener on Friday. That was more, I guess, a Tim Anderson issue, which leads me into the next thing, I guess, is just the fielding has been brutal. So, not a great weekend to be a White Sox fan. Not a great week, 7 straight losses. So,
yeah, I mean that. And then if we're going to talk about the Twins, which we should, Buxton, welcome back, Buxton, big way, hit a walk-off home run. And it just happened to be, it was the 2nd of the game and 3rd of the series. It was in Sunday's game that he hit the walk-off. And you know, he's back. I'm all for the MV Buxton conversation. You know, he's my dark horse. You could probably still get really good odds for MVP candidate for him. So I would just pay attention to that Twins team. They could get hot, and as long as their pitching keeps them in it, I don't see why they can't stay at the top of that division, especially with the White Sox playing as they are. And we know the Guardians are good for a loss of a sweep or a series loss every now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you got guys. I mean, Twins are certainly overperforming out of the gate. Obviously, what you're going to get from Buxton when he's on the field. Guy's an absolute animal, as long as he can stay healthy. So it's good to see him back as a baseball fan. Good to see him back.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Dylan Bundy stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Just spinning gems. Joe Ryan, obviously, we touched on him, I think, the other day.
Yes.
So I mean, they're looking good. If they can keep it going here, I think they do have one of the worst bullpens in the league in ERA. It's towards the bottom, top, or like the bottom 3 or 4. But hey, if you can get Dylan Bundy going 8 innings a game, then you don't really need to worry about your bullpen.
Absolutely. Why don't we move on though?
Yes, sir.
Miami, Atlanta. Miami took the series 2-1. And about that series, Jazz might be the most exciting player in baseball. In the second game of the series, he had a home run on the first pitch of the game. He stole 2 bases and only needed a triple to complete the cycle. He went 4 for 6 that game, and the Marlins also tallied 14 hits that game. That was a season high for team hits. I think Miami is also the real deal. You talk about San Francisco being the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're looking at underrated teams who people are probably ready to write off just because of their name and their past, the Marlins are that team. But you are safe, very safe to bet that the Marlins are going to be in almost every single one of their games this year. They might not have the experience and the what's it called? The experience.
The bravado?
Yes, to win all of these close games. But they are going to stay in all of these close games.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're talking about Atlanta for a second, Atlanta seems to be hitting their stride too. If you looked at the run totals, they were real even with the Miami Atlanta series. It was very close, not one team outscoring another,
right,
by too much. But I like what you see consistently, what you've seen since the Dodgers series, is the Braves are hitting the ball. They're hitting the ball and they're scoring runs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the other teams are going to have to do is they're going to have to keep pace. They're going to have to score runs, which might be tough if Atlanta finally figures out their pitching, right?
Right.
So Olsen has been playing as an incredible Freddie Freeman replacement.
Freddie who?
Exactly. The Braves are totally ready to forget about Freddie. It's just hard to see. It's just hard to see someone else playing first base. But I also just want to say that the Braves are currently doing what they're doing still without Ronald Acuna Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So when you add him to the roster, when you put him in the lineup, he's good for a run or two a game at least. And that top of that first inning, one of the scariest things about the Braves last year and years prior was the fact that you had Ozzie Albies, you had Ronald Acuna, and you had Freddie Freeman. And the three of them were basically guaranteed to bring in one run. And you were already you were probably starting at a deficit when you're playing the Braves in the first inning.
Yeah.
So I know the Braves are getting hot, so we'll just see if they can keep it up. But that's what I had to say about that series. It was just good baseball.
That was good close games. Miami grinding it out.
Absolutely.
We love to fish.
Yeah, so why don't we move on to another great series, Toronto and Houston. Toronto took the series 2-1. And each game was a 1-run game, with the series finale going 10 extra innings. Not 10 extra innings, but an extra inning when 10 innings. It's just fun to see each team start to get in their groove, especially with Toronto and Houston. Houston is really starting to figure it out. I know they're their offense isn't exactly as potent as they would like it to be. But they're still getting the hits, they're still scoring the runs, and they're still getting it done. They're not clawing away as much as they would like. They probably would have liked to win two out of three, but only 1-1. But I think you're going to see both of these teams consistently. Doesn't matter who their competition is. I mean, unless it's the Dodgers, really. But both Toronto and Houston are going to win most of their series 2-1, or they're going to sweep most of their series. It's just how it's going to be with them, and it's awesome. Congratulations! Like, it's just going to be more of the same, and just hope it can continue, and hope that injury plagues don't hit the team too hard.
Right.
Each team is probably good for an injury or two. We just hope it doesn't affect the runs too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, like the Astros, they're just one of those teams that have experience where they can, like, even if they're down a couple runs late in the game, it's like, man, you can't count those guys out ever. You know, they always have that, the capabilities to come back and to edge out a close game.
Right. And while we're talking about close games, why don't we move on to Colorado versus Detroit? Colorado won the series 2-1, but there was one really close game specifically when the Tigers put a 13-0 spanking on the Rockies. It was the first game of a doubleheader, but the good thing about what the Rockies did that game, or that day, or the series really, is they took that first game and they said, forget about it, put in the past, and they went 2-0 for the next following games. Yep. Connor Joe homered again. We're going to say it again. We're going to say it again. We're going to say his name until it's a house.
We love Connor Joe.
We love Connor Joe.
That was a leadoff bomb, right, in the game?
Hit streak 11 games.
Oh, man.
CJ Cron, yes, he slowed down a little bit, but you can still expect him to continue to hit bombs. I haven't heard much about Chris Bryant, but I know he's still going to do things, and he's still going to get hot. And you have Colorado pitching not doing okay. Detroit is not performing as we would like. I think they're fourth place. They might even be fifth place in that Central Division.
They are fourth place at a nice 6-9.
Yeah, exactly. So we kindly didn't include them in the power rankings because we kindly ranked the White Sox as third place,
so that you could make your point and give me a jab about the Sox.
I could have ranked them fourth place. So I just wanted to make it nicer for you. But regardless, both of these teams, Colorado seems to be overperforming. I think you could probably expect them to level out a little bit during the season, but while they're hot, why not ride it? Detroit seems to be not playing to their expectations, to their potential. And I think that you can expect Detroit to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, Detroit's pitching certainly hasn't been there. Guys like Tyler Alexander aren't getting it done. He got shelled again today. 3.2 innings, 5 earned runs, so not good for him. They're hitting. Like, they're going to win games by hitting the ball, and obviously they put up 13 runs that one game, but to come back with the 2 spot in 2 games is not going to get it done. Not with their young pitching staff. No.
So we can move on to another close game, another series with a close game. It was the Pittsburgh-Chicago Cubs. Pittsburgh, as we all expected, won the series 3-1, and the Cubs outscored them
by a lot.
Wait, did I say? I want to make sure you heard what I said.
I did, yeah. No, I heard what you said. The Pirates, just like we all thought.
The Pirates won the series 3-1, while the Cubs outscored the Pirates 29-12.
Make it make sense.
That sounds right. Well, I mean,
there could be an outlier in one of those 4 games.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that the Cubs spent Game 3 scoring 21 runs, blanking the Rats.
Jeez.
I just think the most interesting stat line from that 21 run game is there was only one Cubs home run.
Is that right?
Well, since they were blanked, there was only one home
Yeah.
run that game.
Wow. By a guy named Alfonso Rivas.
Yeah, who?
Yeah, never even heard of that guy.
I think if you look at the fact that the Cubs were able to do that by just sheer hitting, the Cubs have a good future ahead of them. They are able to get it done. They are able to get those hits and put them together and over and constantly just get that done. But I mean, like, you also have to say that it might have just been the Pirates, even though they only took one game and it just happened to be that one game that they put up 21. Sure. So, I mean, like, the reason I have the Pirates above, like, where I did my power rankings is because of the work they did this weekend, specifically this weekend. The fact that they were able to do that to the Cubs just shows you that they might actually put together like a couple series wins. Yeah, I'm like David Bednar, not that bad. Their pitching, I mean, you said they're bottom 3, but like you look at their guys and they're not terrible. You look at what they're putting out and it's not totally awful. It's not. But, you know, it's still the Pirates. You can still bet against them and feel safe.
Yeah, I think for the most part, you could probably bet against them. But yeah, 8-8, that's a good start for them. Definitely not kind of where we expected them to be.
Wait, the Pirates are 8-8. What are the White Sox again?
Pirates the White Sox are a nice 6-9.
Oh yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure we established that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's been established. We can go ahead and drop it now. Everyone knows that the White Sox are 6-9 and in 3rd/4th place.
All right, so moving on. The Dodgers and the Padres. The Dodgers took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, while the Padres win came in extras. You know, and it's the one good thing for San Diego in that series. Everything else, game 1 and game 3, you can just drop. If you're a San Diego fan, just forget about it. Move on. Just move on to the next series. It's when you play the Dodgers, you can chalk it up to just the Dodgers. Your numbers won't be the same. Your pitching numbers won't be the same. Offensive, defensive, everything is just going to be diminished when your opponent is the Dodgers. It's because the Dodgers pitching is pretty elite, but B, more importantly, their offense is so overpowered, so elite that even the best pitchers don't really have a match against the Dodgers.
Their offense is just lethal.
Yeah, they steamroll teams, and when they win, it's convincing. And when they lose, it's going to be a real tight game, and they're going to fight, and it's going to be a 1, maybe a 2-run game. Yeah, you might see like a 1-game outcome where the Dodgers lose by a number of runs, by larger than 3. But then the next game, you'll see them come back and they'll put up like 15.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more of a rarity. We know that they are a wagon, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and to make matters worse for opponents of the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger's putting it together. He had 2 home runs in the series finale.
People are starting to whisper on the streets if Cody Bellinger's back.
I've heard the whispers. I think they're still whispers. I think Dodgers fans they still have the taste of just the Cody Bellinger of yesteryear being not the MVP. But the whispers they're getting louder.
Dude, if Bellinger gets it going, like, I mean, it's over. And Betts, I mean, Mookie
Betts hit a home run.
Did he? Yeah. Is he back this series? I know I didn't get to watch too much of that series, but I know he was not necessarily like struggling, but not
Yeah, he
Oh,
hasn't been producing to his MVP levels.
right.
But the Dodgers don't need him to do that.
Yeah.
If he puts up MVP level numbers,
Should we even
I
play the
laugh.
season?
I laugh, but it's really unfair.
All right. No, as always, here's your weekly congratulations on having a good ownership group that likes to spend money and bring good players in. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
All right. So yeah, we can move on. St. Louis versus Cincinnati. St. Louis took the series 2 games, 2 of the 3. And I think the most important note from this series is that the Reds won a game.
The Reds are back in the win column, baby.
I think I would have felt confident saying that they probably would have lost 100 plus 130 games. No, I'm joking.
I don't know, man. I mean, they're 3-13. They're going to be bad this year.
They're going to be bad, but one thing, like, you could talk about how bad the Reds are, and then you could just talk it into the ground, and all you say is, yeah, but I mean, look at Joey Votto. He's been a guy forever, but it's just sad what the Reds have done to him. And then you look at Hunter Green, good future. They have some good future guys, but
sure,
just not their year. And if you look at Seattle, I don't want to say that I've been saying this for 3 seasons now, but is Wainwright washed?
With St. Louis.
Yeah, he Wainwright gave up 3 to the Reds. 3 runs to the Reds.
So he went 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 8 hits.
4?
Yeah, 3 walks, only 3 Ks.
Oh my gosh. Is that the nail in the coffin?
No, it's not. This is a pro old guys podcast, so we'll give him a second chance.
Okay, fine. A second chance.
I mean, you can't expect this guy to go out and sling Cy Young year after year. So one tough start, even though it's against the lowly Reds. Hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say we can move on from that, but yeah, I mean, I'll let you give Wainwright a little bit of kudos. So
yeah, we'll give him a quick tug. That's enough for Wainwright. Let's keep it rolling here.
Yeah, so the Mets versus the Diamondbacks. Mets took the series 2-1. Trent, you were at the game. You were at one of the games. Tell me about it. How was it? How was Chase Field?
Yeah, so we went there Saturday. The parents are in town, so we took a nice trip down to good old Chase Field.
Nice.
Oh man, it was beautiful. Glorious day, sun shining, the roof was open, probably 75, 80 degrees. Couldn't ask for a better day. Mets won, Mets lost that game on Saturday that I was at. Trevor Williams was on the bump for the Mets, and he is bad.
Yes.
He's bad. I mean,
Pirate.
Former Pirate. Former Cub. Making his rounds. He is not very good. I don't even know why he's in the starting rotation for them. But it was a great time had by all. Our D-backs won. I got a free shirt. I was one of the first 10,000 people in. Oh, how about this? My dad caught a BP home run ball.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So ball bounced up, landed in the cup holder right next to him. He ran over, out hustled some kid and got the ball. So
it's the hustle that counts.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was a great day at the yard. D-backs are still the bad. D-backs. They're still bad.
I mean, I do like Marte and I like Seth Beer, and they're going to score some runs. They're going to take a game in a series. They're pretty much going to take a game in every series. I feel confident that they could take a game in almost every series.
Yes.
But a single game, and it's going to be an ugly game, and it's just going to be bad baseball. It sucks. You love Torrey. He's a great coach, but that team, he just doesn't work.
Yeah, they it's just tough. The offense is just so bad.
So bad.
But even like the pitching the pitching is okay. The starting pitching.
Yeah, starting pitching. Once you get past the starters,
once you get past the starters, it's a huge decline. So
but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good with Diamondbacks talk for today. Or for now, it's the Mets are just a wagon. They're the real deal. They should have swept the series. It wasn't a great if the Mets should be sweeping most series, and if they don't sweep most series, then you should count it as a bad series, not a great series.
And we'll still see, man. I wish I could find a good strength of schedule number for the Mets out the gate. I don't have that stat handy, so we need the stat guy.
We need a stat guy. If you want to be our stat guy, send us your resume and we'll consider.
We'll consider it. But yeah, just I feel I'm excited for them to kind of get into the thick of their schedule. Play some good quality National League teams.
Yeah, but I'm down to move on. We had Milwaukee against Philadelphia Phillies. Milwaukee won the series 2-1. Each game was low-scoring affairs, pitching duels throughout. You had Eric Lauer shove himself into Cy Young conversation with a 13K 6 innings showcase, and he has come out as the guy in that rotation this year on a team that already has 2 bona fide Cy Youngs in Woodruff and Burns.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you take into consideration that Josh Hader is at the very end of that to just clean up the game, all the Brewers need is a consistent offense, and that team is dangerous. Dangerous.
If they can get Christian Yelich hitting at least like 270, give me 270, Christian Yelich. I don't need you to hit 315. If he can hit 270, then this team is going to be they're going to win a lot of games.
They'd be top. Well, I joke, but they'd be top 3 teams in the National League. And then I was like, no shit, they'd be top 3 teams. It's the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Brewers.
Yeah.
The top 3 teams in the division.
But yeah, you're right. If they can get some sustainable offense, I don't know what it is. Cause like, they're just underperforming because they have the names. Like we know McCutchen, Colton Wong, he's fine. He's not like going to go out and hit 300, but he'll get some knocks. Rowdy Tellez can just put balls 500 feet. So it's like, if these guys can just get it going, then they're going to be insane.
Yeah. I mean, and then if you look at the other side of the chart or the game, you had Phillies. The Phillies are the Phillies again. The pitching woes continue. They lost one of their games in the 9th inning. It was a 1-0 game, and Knebel gave up the lead in the top of the 9th. You can't do that. The Phillies are a couple years removed from spending close to like $300 million on a bullpen for them all to get hurt that same year. I
love their bullpen. It is just so fun to watch because they're just going to blow it every time.
Absolutely.
I just pulled up the stats. They have the worst bullpen in terms of ERA at 4.57.
Not surprising.
They have 5 homers. They're terrible.
The Phillies have decent starting pitching. They have a great offense, and their bullpen consistently year after year is the bottom of the barrel. even with teams like the Pirates, the Rockies, the Nationals being so bad in their bullpens, right? The Phillies are still always at the bottom. You even have the Royals above them. It's one of the funniest narratives in baseball, the Phillies bullpen. It
is great. It's like at the end of each season, the scouts walk into the conference room and they're like, all right, fellas, what do we need to address this offseason? And someone's like, well, I think the bullpen's fine. So maybe we should go out and get some more hitting. And then it just repeats. And it's like,
whoever that person in the scouting room is that says bullpen's fine, then you need to be fired, or you need to give me the name of your drug dealer, because I would like some of those.
Yeah, let's have someone with that guy's on.
Yeah, we can move on. We have Boston versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay took the series 2-1. It was a very close series. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take this one here. We got Wander, 2 bombs in game 1 there. As you said, the Rays won 2 out of the 3 games in the series. Kluber got clobbered. Thought that was a good play on words. 11 hits over 5 innings. Michael Wacha picked up the win in game 1.
Yeah.
But probably the most exciting game was game 2. where the Rays had a no through 9 innings. That was on Saturday. The Red Sox lost 3-2 in extra innings.
Whoa.
After the
That's
Rays
a high
had
score. That's a high score for a no through 9.
Right. So thanks to Manfred's rule with the runner on second, I'm sure that played.
Oh my gosh!
So that game was 0.
Getting the Little League baseball rules.
Mm-hmm. So the game was 0-0 after 9 innings, and then all 5 runs came in the 10th inning. And I believe Kiermaier hit a walk-off bomb, 2-run homer.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, they ended up giving up 2 hits. The Rays bullpen gave up 2 hits, and it was a complete bullpen game. The starter only went 2 innings, and it was what did I say there? I think it was 7 guys pitched for the Rays. Does that count for anything? Do you know if it's combined no hitters? Do you like those?
I love, when the Rays had the shortened season, I was before the season, or when baseball had the shortened season, I was one of the first guys to be like, this is the exact type of season that the Rays could do something crazy. And they ended up making it to the World Series and losing to the Dodgers. So I like the Rays, and I like what they're doing and the weird, non-traditional way that they control their rotation, control their bullpen. So in my book, I count a combined no-hitter.
Okay.
But I believe the record books count the combined no-hitter as a no-hitter for the team, but they're not a pitcher's no-hitter.
Okay.
So
gotcha. That makes sense. Well, regardless, I guess they didn't get to finish the no-hitter since they gave up hits in the 10th, but it was a fun series. And we're just going to get a lot of those good series from that AL East. There's going to basically be a good series every week, I feel like.
Absolutely. 2-1, 1-2. Maybe you might see a 3-0 sweep with good games all around, but that division is going to chomp at each other.
Yes, sir. Should we keep it rolling?
Absolutely. We'll have one team in that division and one team out west. It's the O's versus the Halos. We had Baltimore taking 2-3. And I'll tell you, the Angels are starting to do their thing. Even though Trout hit 2 homers in their Saturday loss, the O's still beat them. And they beat them in that game 1, and they beat them in the series. The O's are playing well, even with the news that John Means, one of their guys, is out for the year with TJ, or has to have TJ.
R.I.P.
Yeah, right. No, not R.I.P. But yeah, his career basically. It's just Baltimore is playing well enough to win these close games. But the Angels, they're playing well enough to lose these games. It's really unfortunate. And then you have Rendon, who hit a home run over the weekend. But the fact that it's news that Rendon hit a home run, just goes to show you kind of the trajectory of that team.
Right. It shouldn't. You're saying that it shouldn't be news. He should be going and dropping 30 a season. We shouldn't bat 9.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just this weekend specifically tells you everything you need to know about Angels baseball. They're going to find ways to lose, and they're not going to find many ways to win. It sucks for Angels fans, but it's the harsh reality. And then you got a general manager who doesn't help either. So
they have an awful bullpen too. It looks like 5th worst in terms of ERA at 4.37.
Oh wait, no, I lied. The Angels general manager isn't bad. It's the Mets general manager who I don't like, Billy Appler.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, I didn't want to be in bad graces with an Angels executive.
And then last thing, while we're on the Angels, I feel like we should talk about one of the shirts that one of us is wearing. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Noah has this beautiful shirt. It's just got 1,000 Shohei Ohtanis on it. It is beautiful. Take a spin for us. There we go. We love it.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite shirts in my collection. For the right price, I may sign it and send it to you.
Oh man,
the listener, but it will have to be for the right price of a Twitter follow, maybe. We'll see.
All right, should we keep it rolling here?
Yeah, let's do it. Keep it going. Round out the weekend with the bottom of the barrel teams. We have KC versus Seattle. Granted, Seattle's not a bottom of the barrel team, but they've been playing like it. They haven't been doing too well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Although they got the KC bump, they got the KC boost. They swept the series 3-0, and when the final game went into extras, went 12 innings. It was crazy. You have Jesse Winker and Ty France heating up. Both names who you totally expected to be household names to start the season.
Yep.
France is leading the team in homers and RBIs, and he's slashing an insane 375, 459, and 656.
Man.
Yeah, just destroying the ball. And the fact that, well, first of all, Saturday, France went 5 for 6 with 5 RBIs. What?
That's incredible.
That's stupid. That's a stupid stat line. And the what's it called? The Mariners, they played this well this weekend, and they haven't even been getting that great of production from their standout rookies or their young guys like Kalenic and Rodriguez.
Yeah.
The fact that they're able to stay relevant is important. If they can continue to stay relevant and get those young guys hot and get Eugenio Suarez to be that guy of the past, just hitting bombs, crazy, that Seattle team's going to be all right. I think we all know what Casey's going to be, and like you hate to see it, and you want to see Witt Jr. and Whit Merrifield put this team on their back and just run off into the sunset. But
it's not going to happen.
The Reds and the Royals are going to compete all year for that bottom of the barrel team.
Oh man, I was so high like on the Royals entering the season. Not like I was like these guys are going to win the Central, but I thought that they
just want to see them do well.
I know, I do. I want to see their young guys develop and be reliable. But yeah, they're growing pains.
Absolutely.
Growing pains. They're going to have some growing pains.
And to finish out, we have Texas versus Oakland. Texas won the series 2-1, and thank God the A's did not win the series. Too bad it wasn't a sweep, but the Rangers spent one game hitting well, and the rest was back to your regularly scheduled programming. It's just poor hitting, not great pitching, and the Rangers were just lucky that they faced the A's, who are starting their descent back to reality. The Rangers' middle infield really needs to figure it out. It's concerning. They need to pick up their play. They need to pick up their pace, and they need to get it done. I know it's early in their contracts, but it's concerning. I'm worried. Semion's having a really slow start to the season. So is Seager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that they're doing this at the same time.
Right.
You need one of those guys to be hitting to even have a chance at winning some games. And yes, they won 2 out of 3 against Oakland. But as I believe, I don't even think Oakland's a 69 win team this year. So they should. Texas should be doing this.
Right. So what I was just looking at is looks like Texas has lost. So they're 5-10, and out of those 10 losses, I forgot the number. I think it was 6 of them were with 2 runs or less. So
yeah,
if you get one of those guys, like if you get Semien or Seager going, like you can easily make up that deficit, and like that, record could be a little bit more even, like 7-8 or
you just need one of those guys. I mean, granted, Semien is starting to get some hits and he's starting to pick it up a little bit, but I just don't think that this version of the Rangers is not very good.
It's gonna be tough, and they don't have really the pitching either to back it up, like to save these guys while they're slumping. So
exactly, it's not the Rangers team that went to back World Series, I believe, or was it just 2?
I always thought it was 2.
So regardless, they went to back and they lost back World Series, and different team, completely different team. So yeah, that's the weekend review. Let's go into the upcoming series.
Yes, sir.
There's this weird 1-game series.
That can't be built in, right? It's got to be like a rainout or something. Milwaukee has a dome, so how can that can't be a rainout?
I have no idea what it is, but there's a 1-game San Francisco at Milwaukee.
That's today, right? Monday?
Yeah, Monday. And I think it's a potential wild card or a postseason matchup. Both two teams at the top of their divisions. San Francisco is probably going to end up with that wild card spot. And if Milwaukee doesn't put it all together, I could see them sliding a little bit at a certain point. Milwaukee could end up being in that wild card game too. Who knows? But then we have also, just keeping with San Francisco, they play Oakland for a 2-game series, which is very nice for my bet. And you got New York Mets at St. Louis for a 3-game series, which is going to be great baseball.
Good pitching.
Hopefully. Great hitting. It's going to be just good baseball. Boston at Toronto, another great baseball matchup for 4 games. We have Colorado at Philadelphia. It's a rematch from literally not last series, but a series before that, where Colorado took 2 out of 3. It's a 4-game series this time at Philadelphia. So,
I will say I like these. How they'll play 7 games against each other all year.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of jam them into that 2-week span. It's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah. And then we have Detroit at Minnesota for 3 games. Is this a battle for supremacy in the AL Central?
Man, maybe. I don't think people are talking about how tight the AL Central is. Everyone's within 2 games. So,
well, yeah, but everybody's below 500. So, so then we have Seattle at Tampa Bay for 3 games. That should be good, close baseball, good pitching with decent hitting, with hitting that's on the rise. We have the Dodgers at Arizona for 3 games. You could pretty much chalk that up to Dodgers 3 wins.
Yeah.
Then you have Houston at Texas for 4 games, and Houston should sweep this or go 3-1. We just talked about Texas. It doesn't
not looking good for the Rangers.
Yeah, not looking good for the Rangers. We have Cleveland against the Angels, and Cleveland for 4 games. Cleveland's looking to bounce back after a bad weekend at the Bronx.
They have the perfect man to do so too. They got Bieber's going today against Lorenzen, so it's going to be a sick, a lot of big names in that first game.
Absolutely, and there's no shot that Cleveland loses 4 games in a row. So I'll get to that point in a little bit, and I've mentioned it twice, so you should catch on. But then we have Milwaukee at Pittsburgh for 3 games. Easy sweep. Milwaukee sweeps.
Whoa. We're just counting out the 8-8 Pirates that easily, huh? No love for our Buccos?
I'm more in favor of the fact that Milwaukee's just a freaking powerhouse and their pitching is going to shut Pittsburgh down.
Oh, man. I think you're probably right. Pittsburgh probably won't score more than 6 runs that whole series.
Yeah, 6 runs is very generous.
Right.
Then you have San Diego at Cincinnati, 3 games. You might see Cincinnati pick up another game this series, just saying. Then you have Baltimore at New York. It's Glaber watch because they're playing Baltimore.
He always kills Baltimore.
Absolutely. I know it's not in Camden Yards, but it's Baltimore regardless. Yep. You have Kansas City at Chicago White Sox, 3 games. Is this maybe a Chicago bounce back? Do they maybe get the KC boost? Hopefully.
Oh man, we need the KC boost this weekend.
Yeah, you do.
This week. But yeah, I don't know with guys like Dallas Keuchel is going to be going again here. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'm so like not optimistic just because all the injuries, but at least we have Tim Anderson. We got Abreu. So they got to be able to, they have to win 2 out of 3 here.
And you're playing Casey. So to finish it out, we have the Cubs at Atlanta for 3 games. Fried is going Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Are we looking to bounce back? And are we looking to keep scoring it for the Braves? Chicago, you need to bounce back. You just lost a whole last series to the Pirates. I don't think that Chicago bounces back and wins the series against Atlanta. I think Atlanta probably goes 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Chicago, they keep hitting. Atlanta, they're hitting a lot right now. So if the two can put it together in a game, you might see one of those games really high scoring and fun to watch.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's going to be mid-tier baseball.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I was just checking out the pitching matchups. Looks like Stroman versus Fried on Tuesday is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not Monday. You're right. Monday's
Charlie Morton goes Wednesday. So, if those guys can get it going, and then it's basically like whenever the Braves want to start playing, whenever it's like, hey, this is the Braves world. We're just living in it. So whenever they're ready to go, hey, we're ready to watch them win. So
yes, absolutely. So why don't we get into Monday's best bets? You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and start it out. Man, rough outing for me on Friday. I went 0-2. I had the good old Chicago money lines with the Cubs going and the Sox. I lost both of them by a combined 3 runs. White Sox defense was atrocious and did me in there. Moved me to 5-6 on the year at minus 2.77 units. If you bet $100 on every game so far, you would be down $276.69. But we
don't talk about those specifics, though. It's okay.
No, we don't really like to get into those specific details. Now, as for my best bet for today, I'm going the over 8 runs between Houston and Texas. It's minus 115. Astros, they're slashing 281, 323, 406 against Dane Dunning.
Wow.
While the Rangers come back at 245, 378, 430 against Framber Valdez. Valdez had a tough outing his last time out. I don't recall who it was off the top of my head, but I know he got touched up pretty well. And then, like we touched on, the Rangers' second worst bullpen in the league at 4.40 ERA. So I think there's going to be a lot of runs there.
I hear you. I'm not rooting for that because I have Framber Valdez in one of my fantasy leagues. So,
I'm
rooting for you, but not for you.
Okay, maybe how about we go ahead and settle it with the Astros? The Astros will score all 9 runs.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Okay, perfect. And then my other bet, I have the under 8.5 runs between the Dodgers and the D-backs at plus 102. Merrill Kelly's been dealing so far to start the year. 1-0 with a 0.59 ERA and 1.17 WHIP.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, he's on fire. Walker Buehler.
And you're saying that Merrill Kelly sat even after we just had the conversation about the Dodgers offense?
Yeah, well, I have the under here. So that was my next thing is the D-backs offense is horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're just betting on the fact that it's just going to be Dodgers heavy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's probably going to be like 6-1 Dodgers.
I like it. That's the under.
Yeah, that would get us the under. Walker Buehler going for the Dodgers. He limits Arizona to 190 a 190 batting average over 110 at bats. Key guys like David Peralta's just 5 for 24 against him. Pavin Smith 1 for 9. Ketel Marte 6 for 21, so that's like 280 or so.
That's pretty good.
And then Carson Kelly 2 for 11. So
wow,
not going to be great for the Snakes in that one. I'm taking the under 8.5 runs at plus 102.
Well, you know what? I do like the under. I like the Dodgers scoring runs, but I don't like the Diamondbacks scoring runs in that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough couple days there to be a D-backs fan like usual.
Yeah. So let's get into my bets.
Yes, sir.
We're going into the week 0-0. We're starting the week fresh, but we're going to start hot, guaranteed. In this short slate of games, I picked a small parlay that is almost guaranteed to get us into the green.
Okay.
So starting with the Colorado Rockies versus the Philadelphia Phillies, I have the over at 8.5 for minus 115. Both pitchers have given up a combined more hits than innings pitched. So
Wow.
if you look at that stat alone, I mean, if you want to look at their ERAs, both teams or both starting pitchers' ERAs aren't great. We talked about the Philadelphia bullpen woes, and we also talked about the fact that Colorado and Philadelphia, their offense can and will put up runs.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the over 8.5.
Yeah, that's Kyle Freeland versus Kyle Gibson. So the battle of the Kyles should be sponsored by Monster Energy. There's going to be a lot of runs scored in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I have Cleveland minus 125 money line against the Angels. You got to believe in Bieber.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Guardians aren't going to lose 4 in a row. I just harped on it. This is the third freaking time I'm bringing it up. There's no shot that the Guardians lose 4 in a row. And there's no shot Bieber is good for 6 innings, 6 2/3 at minimum. And he's going to give up maybe 1-2 runs.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as Cleveland can stay hot, I say that loosely, as long as they can hit and put things together against Lorenzen, who is good, but the Angels are starting to do their thing. So I just have Cleveland money line in that game. I don't want to bet run totals, and I don't want to bet how much they want to win by. I just think that they probably win the game, or probably I know that they will win the game. Excuse me, I'm manifesting.
Cleveland cannot lose 4 in a row.
Cleveland will not lose 4 in a row. Then I have Houston at minus 1.5. So to win by 1.5 at plus 120 versus Texas. It's very similar to what you were saying on the over. I just don't want to be on the wrong side of Framber Valdez dealing.
Yes.
And the Houston only scoring 6 runs. So that was my reasoning. I think that Houston still wins by 2, maybe even 4, if you can adjust it. But I'm confident with that game. And then, as always, you just got to sprinkle in a quick win. Dodgers money line minus 192. I'm just adding, hypothetical risk to this bet, even though we know that the Dodgers are pretty much an automatic lock in every game in this series. So in that beautiful parlay, we have $100 better winning $1,025. We're 1,026 with a 10-1 odds.
Nice.
So
I think that's a winner.
I think this might, every other time that I've guaranteed a win, I haven't felt as good as this one. So yeah, those are the best bets.
I love it. Yeah. So let's run that one back one more time. So the parlay, it's 10-1. It's it's the Rockies and Phillies over 8.5.
Yes.
The Guardians money line.
Yes.
Houston on the run line minus 1.5.
Yep.
And the Dodgers on the money line.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. And then I'm on the over 8 runs in Houston versus Texas.
Yep.
And then the under 8.5 in the Dodgers versus D-backs.
I might be getting ahead of myself, but this might be our first undefeated day as a podcast.
Yeah, that looks like a really good card to me.
So yeah, I mean, that's our show. That's our podcast. Thank you for listening. I just want to give you guys a little bit of what to expect for Monday's show. Sunday baseball, we saw the Angel Hernandez show. we saw another one of the worst umpiring escapades in baseball history. And it's just been an absolute shit show. And before we dive in to the mockery that is Angel Hernandez umpiring, we wanted to do a little bit of our homework and explain exactly why he might be the worst baseball umpire ever. And we also wanted to talk a little bit about just umpiring in general. We want to do a little bit of our homework, a little bit of research. So Monday's show, we'll do a little bit deeper dive, talk to you a little bit about that so you can expect that.
Yeah. That'll be for Friday's show. Correct? Today's Sunday?
You're right. I said Monday.
Yeah.
You're right. Friday's show. I lied to you guys. This is coming from Friday's show. If you stick around for this long, you can understand.
There we go.
I'm ready.
We need a guy who does like errors and omissions, like in that one show on ESPN. I forgot what it's called, but they always review what the errors that we make. But yeah, that should be it for us. I'm excited about that conversation about umpiring, and I didn't even get to see the clip yet about Angel Hernandez, so I am going to fire that one up right after we get off here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and Schwarber even got tossed today because of it. So,
oh man,
yeah, it's
all right.
It's brutal.
Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, let's do it. Follow us on our socials, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube.
We see Noah's sweet shirt.
Yeah, you can see my sweet shirt. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, we look forward to having you guys on the Friday show. And thank you for listening.
Yep. Thanks for keeping it between the chalk. Peace.
Peace.